Good morning, fellow gardeners. Welcome back to another episode.
I feel like this little detail. That's a different color in comparison to most other cables that you get with those laser engravers or machines in general. was rather quick. If it wasn't for this little fuck up over here and also this screw thing that I got here, it would have gone quicker, about 15 minutes, and I think that's one of the fastest assemblies I ever had with a laser engraver. Oh, so those are spare parts, so that is good, so it really doesn't matter with this screw. So that was a spare part, that is nice. I don't need to worry about that. And now we can get into engraving and also lasering, and I'm gonna do this with light burn. Let me set up a bunch of things, and then I'm gonna see you in my garage, because I can't go to my wood shop at the moment. And I need this laser engraver and cutter here on my property, because it's for my garden and various other tasks that I would like to do around the house. So let's go. So as you can hear, the machine is kinda loud, but it figures it's a stronger laser. And the cable that came with it is rather short, so it's only about 50 centimeters, so I need to have my laptop extremely nearby to actually connect it. So the first test is just gonna be an engraving, and it really doesn't matter what I'm gonna engrave, I'm just gonna put that into here. And then in light burn I'm just gonna set up a simple engraving. And I'm gonna do it very quickly. So let us do 300 millimeters per second, and I'm gonna see how it pans out with a power maximum of 40. So the homing worked. Oh wait, and that also works in light burn. So let us try it out. It's doing something, most definitely. I can see the laser, and the laser protection seems to be kind of good. And we'll see if that's too much, if I should up the maximum power or something of that sort. We'll see about all of that. Let us try it out. 300 is probably way too much with the settings that I have right now. Yeah, nothing's happening, but that's not a problem. Okay, let us go with a maximum of 100. So we are going to ramp it up completely. And with a speed of 200 millimeters per second. And let's see if that's better. Oh yeah, so I can see an engraving. That's most definitely there now. And it's a very shallow engraving what I got here. Yeah, that is looking good. This is the most curious thing I have seen in a while. Everything is set up properly by the machine standards over on light burn, but for some reason the image has been engraved inverted, so the workspace is turned around by 180 degrees, which is kind of weird. But this doesn't matter for my purposes, because the engraving turned out fabulously. Let me show you. Very dark image. It had white shader at the back, but it looks really good. Look at that. It captured all the shadows and the depth of the shadows perfectly, and I think that's a great engraving. And it's a shallow engraving. No, it's actually not Not too shallow. Yeah, that's a very good engraving. I like that. And it was very quickly done. Let's do another one. This time we are going to do a grayscale engraving of my logo from Flammy's wood. And it's gonna be a high quality engraving, like a lot of pixels, a lot of DPI. And since everything is inverted, I have to put it to the completely wrong side. Oh, what? Wait a minute. I gotta home the machine. Dragging it around is confusing it. It's not like the other lasers that I had before. Okay, let us see. That should be better, I suppose. Yeah, that is way better. Okay, perfect. And now we can go ahead and get started. This time only 100 millimeters per second. Or let's do, no, let us go with 200 once again. And power max of 100, let's go. Let's see if it works out and how it works out. Grayscale is an engraving type that gives us a lot of detail because it captures nearly every pixel of the original image. So the laser has to go through a lot of work. Let's see how it turns out. I can see a lot of smoke going on. But maybe it's too quick. We'll see about that. The engraving here is pretty deep, but over here I can't really read the letters. And it's also inverted. Everything is inverted. That is weird. I need to fix it. Let me Google real quick. But no matter that, before we get to that, I'm going to Google in the meantime. And I want to see a side-by-side comparison when I dial down the speed to 100 millimeters per second. I'm going to put it over here. And then we're going to give it another shot. Oh my god, yeah, that's more like it. That's definitely more like it. And I could actually connect the engraver by Wi-Fi. I now see that on my laptop. That is great. Holy moly, if I dial it down we get so much more depth and so much more smoke. Holy shit. And now that we have so much smoke, we run into the problem that we get a bit of smoke bleed, you could say. But I could use an air assist, but this is not something that I want to post negatively about this machine, because I could just use my air assist and everything would be fine, so that's not a problem at all. It's not about the quality right now of the laser engraving that we get. I don't want to sell the things that we do right here at the moment. I just want to see how it turns out overall. Okay, let us check. Obviously, as mentioned previously, the engraving is inverted for some reason, but I think I found the issue. Other than that, the engraving here is the one with 100 millimeters per second, and you can see way more depth of everything, of color and the like. And if I wanted it to be even more darker in some kind of way, more contrasty, then I could just set it up in light burn. So I think 80 to 100 millimeters per second on plywood is definitely the way to go, with a power range from 0 to 100. This right here is just not good enough. This is just not good. But for things like these, it actually worked out. Now I want to try an engraving on not plywood but laminated floor, and also on some kind of hardwood. I have bamboo lying around. So let's give this a shot next, and let's see how it turns out, and then we get to cutting, which is the most important part for me. This time it seems to be the right way around, so that's good, I suppose. This is looking fantastic, mate. Oh my goodness, nice. Okay, let's see how it turned out. That's most definitely a piece of furniture or piece of flooring I would love to have in my house. Oh my god. This is outright amazing. Look at him. Ah, the detail. Look in his eyes. Yeah, so why did I choose laminate flooring for trying something out like that? Because laminate flooring is laminated with mostly a piece of some kind of plastic, you could say. So what that means is it's melting basically into the top, and it did a pretty good job. Now see, after scraping some of that off, the excess, it looks even better. Now that is great, that's something I can get behind, and I really like that. It did a very good job with laminate flooring, which is good, which is a good indicator for a diode laser doing a good job. So that is very nice. Now let us try hardwood, and then after the engraving we are going to get to the cutting side of things. This is a bamboo board, which is really hard. So definitely something that is not to be toyed with. This time I'm gonna use this board to hold it down, those clamps. Okay, perfect. Let's see how it works out. Okay, done. Let us see. I have chosen this material on purpose for one specific reason, namely bamboo is not like regular wood because bamboo is a grass, and this grass needs to be glued together heavily, meaning engraving something like this is really hard. It's harder than engraving acrylic and the like. Not because something melts, just because there are no fibers to really get the engraving nice to burn. So what you are burning here is it's like a concrete surface, you could say. It's extremely hard, and the engraving in and of itself, even though I use 100% power on the darker passes, is not too deep, but this is not something that I want. A shallow engraving on a material like this is perfect, and it did a really good job with that, even on 100 millimeters per second. Let me show you. Like, look at that, it looks really good. Obviously, with a material like this, you can't capture all of the contrast shadow parts that you normally would, because the laser reach isn't that high to like engrave a more shallow engraving than the one that is already really dark in the background. But it did a really good job with this little toy cat that we did at the start too, and I'm very satisfied with the performance. This was really good. This is like a good indicator if it works nicely. And now here come the ultimate test, namely cutting. We are gonna start slow with the 4mm plywood, and then we are gonna work our way up all the way to a 1 centimeter raw maple board scrap piece that I still have lying around. So hardwood is the most important thing that I would like to engrave and also cut. So this is the main focus that we are gonna be taking a look at today. The specifics of what we cut really do not matter. All I want to know is how fast I can cut which material. Plywood 4mm with 50 millimeters per second. This is way too much. I can see that this is not working out, but let's see. Alright, obviously it did not cut through. Why should it? Let us offset this a tiny little bit more, and we are gonna just lower this by 20, so 30 millimeters per second. Still gonna be way too quick, but we'll see about that. It's a 20-watt laser overall, so it ought to cut through it rather easily at some point at least. 10 millimeters per second. We are getting into the realms of possibility, I think. Yep, it's cutting through. I can already see it. I can see the blue hue of the laser here. Yeah, that was good. Oh my goodness. So much smoke. We most definitely went through. Yeah. Got it. But we barely made it. So 10 millimeters per second on 4 millimeter plywood is kind of okay. You should probably go with 8 or 9 to get results which are repeatable. Alright, for the bamboo I'm going with 5 millimeters per second, but I don't think we will make it. It's thicker and it's way harder as mentioned before. Let's see. Oh my goodness! It does go through, it seems. But due to the smoke we get a lot of diffraction of the laser or reflection of the laser beam. Let's see how it worked out. I can feel it. It went a bit through. If I were to do it, can you see it? If I were to do a second pass, oh my god, it's pretty warm. A second pass or even slower, then we should be good. And using an air resist, it should work out nicely. Let us do it a bit slower. 2 millimeters per second. Let's go. I hope it's not too slow. I don't want anything to burn. Alright. So, we got a lot of burn. We were too slow and it was most definitely out of focus. So we didn't make it through. Another one. 5 millimeters per second with 2 passes. We see how that turns out. I can still not make it through completely. But it's not the laser to blame. It's the material. It's just a very hot material to work with. And I do not believe that most 20 watt lasers would be able to get through this. Or no 20 watt laser at all. My 10 watt didn't make it, so I think you need about 30 to 40 watts to make it through a material like this, especially in one pass. So it's not a problem. The engraving was nice. I wouldn't cut a material like this with a laser like this at all. So yeah, all is good on that behalf. So now I'm especially curious about the laminate flooring, how we will be able to make it through, if at all. So I'm gonna go with 5 millimeters per second once again in one pass. We'll see about that. No, we don't make it through. I can already see that. Not even close. 2 passes, 3 millimeters per second. Let's go! Oh! We are making it through. But will it cut through in such a way that we can push it out of the laminate flooring? I'm curious about that. That's 8 millimeters, by the way. Yeah, it made it through completely, I think. I mean, obviously, it's a total mess. So we got molten plastic, we got a lot of wood glue due to the MDF plate, but disgusting. It seems like we made it through completely. Yeah, we made it through. I mean, it's molten together once again on the backside due to the plastic, but we made it. Look at that. That's a pretty thick and very hot piece. Yeah, that is great, I think. I don't know why you would want to cut laminate flooring, but this is already a test on how you could, for example, cut laminated MDF boards, because ultimately this is what it is. And many people are interested in cutting MDF using lasers to create templates, for example. So I think that checks out, and with a bit of fiddling around with the settings, you could even get 1 centimeter to be cut through on an MDF board. So I consider this a success on the first try, I think. And now, here comes the most important thing that has to do with the self-sufficient series. This right here is a bit of Douglas fir. I cut this into, I think, 4mm white pieces, which are 6mm thick, and we are gonna turn those into little signs that we can plug into the soil. Those are things that you can sell very nicely to all people, for example, on an art market, because I for myself plant a lot of things obviously, but my wife is not too into gardening. So if I tell her, please get me some rosemary out of the garden, she probably doesn't know what it is on the first sight, for example. So she can't identify the plant when she just sees it. So this is why I'm gonna create some of those plant signs, and I'm gonna shove those to each and every plant into the soil. It makes the garden look absolutely fantastic, and on the other hand, my wife knows where everything is. And this now the ultimate test for everyone wondering, can we make it through 1 centimeter thick hard maple? Let's go. So those settings didn't quite cut it, literally, so we didn't even make it to the other side, but a bit slower, and maybe we can make it, let's make it 2mm per second, 2 passes. Oh, I can already see the laser sheen. It makes it through in 1 pass. That is surprising. I'm stoked about that. Why does that work? Yep, it totally went through. Can't believe it. That is actually really surprising, I think. I honestly did not think that this was in the realm of possibility. few episodes on the self-sufficient series, and I wish you guys a flammable day, and please stay safe and please stay alive, such that you can watch my next 2 videos in the series. See ya!